All right, welcome back to Scavenger Workshop. We are going to go ahead and do the assembly for the LED box portion of the Ghostbusters trap. What you're going to want to do first is make sure you with an orbital sander and 80 grit sandpaper on it, make sure you sand all these parts. And the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to file these edges like this. Because everything's such a tight fit, file these edges. These little tabs right here, you're gonna wanna file those as well on these little tabs, you know, just to make them a little bit smaller than what they are. On each one of these tabs right here, you're gonna file them at an angle like this, so that way they're kind of going downward at an angle, probably about a 30-degree angle or whatnot, okay? And then you're going to want to dry fit all your pieces, okay? So we're going to go ahead and put all these pieces in, like so. Let's see here. So the holes on this side, this hole, you want that to be on that side as well. This hole is where you're going to pass through the wires. I may change this later to open it up for, you know, more access. But right now, this is how it's going to appear. Go ahead and drop it in like that. Okay. Make sure all your pieces are in there flush, like that. I want to grab this piece, drop this piece in place. You might have to pull them out just a hair to try and get the tabs in, like that. And then we're going to get this top piece and drop it in place as well. You want to make sure that everything goes together and is flush. All the seams are flush, as you can see. You know, these holes right here line up so they can go all the way through. This is going to be pushed down, so you might have to, once you get your C-clamps on there, when you're allowing the glue to dry, you want to push that down, right? So that way there's very little gap here, okay? So once you've got it all dry fitted and it feels really good in place, you're gonna get some metal adhesive. This stuff's called JB Weld Steel Reinforced Epoxy. You mix this stuff together and it cures in about 48 hours, fully cures. So we're gonna go ahead and get some of that. Let me get something to start with. These are C-clamps. These are what we're gonna use here to hold together while the glue cures. So let me go ahead and put a good bit of glue here. Now don't use too much. You don't have to gob it on because we're gonna sand this, for the most part, sand it off anyway, right? So go ahead and mix this stuff up. It should turn gray. Okay. Once you have it mixed, you're gonna add it to all the little edges. Right here. Basically what we're doing is we're just gonna put like a little glue around all the edges. And then we're gonna see, it goes this way. Put the pieces back together. And then once we have all the pieces back together, we will clamp it together with some C-clamps. So I have that in there. Let's add some glue to these tabs and this edge right here. We're going to wipe a lot of this away, so if you get it on there pretty heavily, it's okay. You'll get some little Q-tips and get in there and wipe it away. But we just want a good seal along these edges, because we don't want it to come apart. Okay, once you got it in there, then we're going to dry it in place here. Okay, you'll see it seats in there very well, right? The inside of the box, if you wanted to, you can go and kind of clean some of it up. Doesn't matter, you can't really see in there once it's done. So we're gonna go ahead and add the same stuff on this edge here. Mainly on this side here. And definitely in these little gaps, right? And it's very, some people are going to decide to skip this part and just have it so that way it can be taken back apart. But I don't recommend to do that, because you're going to see the seams and it's not going to look as clean as if, you know, you have a completed part. You know, so you just want to make sure you get a sufficient amount of adhesive in there, because you want this to bond. It's never going to come apart again, which is good. It's going to look good. And I could have had this part CNC machined, but it would have added to the cost of the kit significantly. We're talking to get this, I've already did one and priced it, and it was about $300 additional for this, right? And when I show you the completed part after the glue sets and we sand it, you're gonna be like, it's not worth $300, right? Because it really isn't. That's added cost. So we have the glue there. Now we're gonna go ahead and add some glue to the edge of this, all here, here. Oops, too much. It doesn't really take a lot of glue, but what I'm going to show you is later on, you know, as we're doing it, we're going to also use this glue as a type of filler too. So now we're going to grab this piece, set this piece in here like we did before with the dry fit. Okay, once you have it in place, we're going to get C-clamps. I might need a larger one for that. Yeah. So we're going to get the C-clamps and drop the clamps on here. to kind of hold it in place to allow it to cure. And right now I want to kind of put them in a position to where they're out of the way for what I'm about to do next. Okay, so just snug enough to keep it from moving. We're going to put another C-clamp on this bottom plate to keep it from sliding. Right here, because we already have it in a good position. Okay, so right now we've put a C-clamp here on the top to hold it this way, and we put a C-clamp here to keep this bottom piece positioned correctly. So we're going to check that all of our seams are good. They're still in place. Tighten that up just a hair. Look, all our seams are pretty much closed, right? And then we want this piece right here it's going to kind of, this piece right here is going to kind of snap into place. So just kind of tap it where it needs to be, and then we'll put a clamp there to hold it once it gets past that lip. So at this point, let me throw another clamp in, and then we're going to kind of clean this up a little bit. Right, I'm going to put a clamp on this side, and then tomorrow when it cures and we sand it, it's going to look like one solid piece of aluminum. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to grab this and we want to kind of fill in these where these joints are, right? Just kind of paint it along the edges. It's going to be kind of dirty and messy, but once it cures, right? Once it cures, then we're going to sand away the stuff. So it's going to look a little dirty. All right, we're going to put this on all of our edges. And you don't have to do all of this at the same time. You can wait till till it fully cures first, then come back and add some more. But I'm just gonna try and do everything for the video, so that way tomorrow when I record the rest of the assembly process, I can just sand it down and show you guys. So, like I said, this is very messy. But just kind of want to fill in all the little edges. Okay. And for the hard edges, like right here, try and clean that off, because you don't want it to create a kind of an edge, right? And this stuff, like I said, it's going to cure in about 4 hours, to where you can move it with your with your fingers or whatnot and touch it, and it won't smear or anything. So I'm going to leave it right here for now. I'm going to see if I can find my bigger C-clamp so I can clamp this face downward, right? All right, welcome back. We have glued the LED box together, as you can see. So the glue's secured for 24 hours, and after 48 hours, it's really solid. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take this orbital sander, and it's got 80 grit on it. I'm gonna go back over it and take all the glue off, so that way it's all shiny and flush, and then this piece will be complete. I see you guys in a minute when I return. All right, we are back once again. What we did was we got the orbital sander and we sanded all that excess metal adhesive off, and you can see all the little seams are sealed. Now if you have to go back and add a little bit more because maybe there's a little ridge or a gap somewhere, it's okay. You can add a little bit more in there and do another, wait 24 hours, do another sand until it's perfectly smooth and it looks good. So this is this piece right here. So one thing you will have to do is, if you notice right around here, because of the bending process, these holes and this part right here is going to be a little blown out. Okay, that's expected. What you're going to want to do is just take a file and go across it like this, just to kind of flatten it out a bit, and then you take your LED faceplate and kind of set it on there, and then just make sure that there's no visible gaps when you set it there. Once it's all painted black, you won't see any of these seams or anything. And like I said before, I can create this box as a CNC piece for you guys, so you don't have to do the gluing and the work, but that will add about $300 more to the actual product. So I was trying to keep the cost down. Right now, the entire trap is right at about $500, so it's good. I think it's a fair price for a DIY kit. So here it is. This part's completed. In the next video, I'm going to show you guys how to assemble the doors and the frame and the main assembly with the handle and whatnot. So, all right, there's that. You guys have a wonderful day.